So, who am I? What do I want from your life? And what's so special about what I have to say that you should have left your nice, comfortable couches at home to come and see my play? Actually, my full name is Giuffre-Donohue. Yes, I'm one of those, a hyphenator. Because Giuffre, spelled way differently than it sounds, wasn't difficult enough for people to say, so I thought I'd add another 7 letters to my name. I'm 40 years old, and I'm a 3-year survivor of a type of blood cancer called Hodgkin's lymphoma. This play is about my cancer experience, the good, the bad, the gambling. So as we go forward, know that the spirit of this play isn't meant to make light of any of the devastating effects of cancer or its various treatments. It isn't meant to make light of the loved ones that so many of us have lost to cancer. And it isn't meant to make light of the people that we know who live with cancer and manage it one day at a time. Rather, this play is to show how a little laughter can go a long way when it comes to dealing with such a devastating diagnosis. Here's how it began. It was a dark and stormy night. In February of 2009, I was 37 years old, married to my husband Dan, and our children were 3 and 7 years old. One day in the shower, I noticed that my right armpit was swollen. I also had some swollen glands in my neck. I didn't rush to the doctor because I didn't want to seem like a hypochondriac. I mean, the swollen glands weren't that alarming, but the tiny lump under my arm, that was raising some red flags for me. I waited a couple of nervous weeks, and then I made an appointment to see my doctor. She sent me on to a specialist. After those appointments and testing, this is how I got the official news. Hello?
Hi, can I speak to Giuffre-Donohue, please?
Sometimes I leave out my maiden name so as not to confuse people more than I have to. You'd be amazed at the confusion that a simple little hyphen can cause, but I digress. This is she.
Hi, Mr. Donohue. This is Dr. Jacobs.
Uncomfortable pause.
I got the results back from your test, and I didn't want to have to make you wait till you saw your oncologist to hear them.
Yet another uncomfortable pause.
You have what is called Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay, that's cancer, right? Who was I kidding by asking her? I totally knew it was cancer she was talking about. I had Googled and Yahooed the internet like crazy, looking up everything I could about lymphoma. Because the surgeon mentioned that my oncologist was probably looking for some type of lymphoma. I just really needed to hear her say the word cancer.
Yes, it's cancer, but it's very treatable. There's a very high cure rate with the Hodgkin's.
Okay, well, that's at least some good news. Thank you for getting back to me so soon, doctor. Third uncomfortable pause. I can't imagine that this call is easy for the doctors to make. The surgeon had been so nice to me throughout the biopsy and everything. I wanted to console her and say, I'm going to be fine. Cancer knocked on the wrong door. But I didn't know what else to say in the situation either. So all I could muster was a thank you.
You're welcome, and good luck with everything.
Thank you very much, doctor. I let out a big sigh and dialed the phone to call my husband. Hey, hon.
Hey, babe, what's happening?
I just heard back from the surgeon. They got the test results already. It's definitely cancer. It's the one that we thought it might be, the Hodgkin's, not the non-Hodgkin's. The good news is it's very treatable. I have the good cancer. Sarcasm intended. This was an unfortunate term that I would hear over and over again from well-meaning people. I know what they meant. I had a good prognosis. But the terms good and cancer should never be used together. There is no such thing as a good cancer.
Isn't the non-Hodgkin's better? It just sounds better by the name.
I know. The non-Hodgkin's is slightly harder to treat. It's the Hodgkin's.
So it's not the non.
It's not the non.
It's the Hodgkin's.
Yeah, it's the Hodgkin's.
Wow, it's a little crazy.
Tell me about it. All right, I'll let you go. I have a few more phone calls to make and a few more people's days to ruin.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Hang in there.
All right, babe. I love you too.
Bye.
Bye. Now, I'm thankful for traditional medicine, but I'm also a believer in alternative medicine if the situation calls for it. If you can treat something without the use of a harsh drug, I would rather go that route if it's safe. And frankly, the thought of going to chemotherapy scared the shit out of me. But I had a family at home that I wanted to live for, and my prognosis was good if I went through chemo. So chemo won the coin toss.
Let's see, chemotherapy. Here are well, this is what it's going to cause. Indigestion, dry mouth, vomiting, acid reflux, possible lung damage, possible heart damage. It's a long list.
Here, let me help you.
Thank you.
Skin changes, possible sterility, mind-numbing fatigue, general feeling of crappiness.
Wow, where do I sign up?
But wait, there's more possible side effects. Emotional instability,
Like I needed more bad.
Oh, hair loss.
You say hair loss, I say I don't have to shave my legs for 6 months. I'm a glass half full kind of gal. And since most of my treatment took place during the spring and summer, it was a little chemo perk not to have to shave.
here's a good one. Apparently, chemo can either make you constipated or give you diarrhea.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, shitting your brains out or being full of shit.
Mouth sores?
Yeah, there's some other sound.
Possible weight gain from the anti-nausea meds, which are also steroids.
Yeah, now I was happy to gain weight during chemo rather than to lose it and possibly be more immune compromised. But most of the weight went right to my middle. Let me tell you, looking 3 months pregnant when you are is really cute. Looking 3 months pregnant when you're not so cute. And then the irony of it all, I just want to share with you from an actual anti-nausea medication insert. Possible side effects include tiredness, weakness, nausea. What? This is an anti-nausea medication that may cause nausea? But I took it anyway, and it worked.
You know, it says here chemo brain. What is chemo brain?
Let me explain. In very simplified terms, chemo brain is a general sense of mental fogginess, cognitive, and memory issues that can occur after having gone through chemo. For example, one day I went to the grocery store and I was recycling my plastic bags. I had my reusable canvas bag in my arm. As I finished and I watched the cashier bagging my groceries into 3 plastic bags, I looked down, saw my reusable bag still on my arm, and just laughed to myself. That's chemo brain. It's the madness we all feel normally. What day is it? Where did I put my keys? What did I do last weekend? Now just magnify that times 100 and you have chemo brain. Okay, maybe my formula isn't scientifically valid, but that's what it feels like.
It says here that chemo can cause early menopause.
Now, prior to my cancer diagnosis, I'd already been wondering where my libido had gone. I even put up signs. My libido. Can you tell it to call home? Then my period started getting weird in July. I would get it for a couple of days, then it would go away, then it would come back again the next week. My period did that again in August, and then in September, I didn't get it at all. My uterus didn't know whether shit or wind its watch.
There are many questions that you'll be asked during testing. And Jen just wanted to share some of her favorite ones with you. Now, you women will be able to relate to this one. One of Jen's all-time favorite questions was,
Is there any possibility you may be knocked up? I mean, like pregnant.
Well, let's see. I have an IUD for birth control and cancer. So unless God has a really sick sense of humor, no, I'm not pregnant. But you put the word possibility in there, so let me think about this. Is there any possibility I might be pregnant? Well, now you have me wanting to run home and take a pregnancy test. I don't think I'm pregnant, but I didn't think I was going to have cancer either. We cloned a sheep, for God's sake. Anything's possible. And maybe God does have a sick sense of humor. I can see God up in heaven now saying, ooh, we're going to give her cancer, and just for a real kick in the ass, let's knock her up too. Remember, the stress of that situation doesn't kill her before the cancer does. Now that is a knee slapper. Hey, Moses, want to take bets on what's going to kill her first? $100, that's the stress.
And another one of our favorite questions is,
did the doctor order this test?
Yeah, that one's a real gem. Now, I know that the person asking that question is only doing their job. I know they didn't make up the questions, and it's not their fault that they have to ask them. I also know that they need prior approval from the insurance companies who rake us over the coals and raise our premiums and don't want to cover us for pre-existing conditions, but let's consider this in regard to a PET CT scan. This is a $4,000 test that helps them determine where the cancer is in your body. It's part of the process of staging the cancer. Well, here's what I would have liked to have answered. No, the doctor didn't order this test. I just wanted to waste 2.5 hours of my day. spend the prior 24 hours on a lovely, low-carb, high-protein diet with no sugar allowed whatsoever because I have nothing better to do with my time. And I love drinking the barium smoothies and being injected with radioactive dye because I'm hoping to develop some other type of cancer years from now from all the radiation exposure. I live close to a power plant, but I don't know that I'm getting my daily intake of radiation exposure. And while I'm at it, I didn't get prior approval from the insurance companies because I want to shell out at least $4 grand out of pocket because I'm not in enough credit card debt. I was hoping to claim bankruptcy before the end of the year. I mean, really? Are you kidding me? But here's what I really said. Yes, the doctor ordered this test. During chemo, I experienced what I call cancer pricks and perks. I chose to see the silver lining while going through treatment. It was either that or crawl under my covers in the fetal position, which was certainly appealing some days, but mostly I chose the silver lining. I experienced perks in the form of people in general being nicer and going out of their way to be nice. I experienced pricks in the literal form of so many needles for chemo and blood work. I also experienced pricks in the form of people. Like the oncologist that I did not go back to. I got impatient when my family asked her questions. But this leads me to the biggest pricks of all. The king of all pricks. Drum roll, please. The insurance companies. Here's what I went through.
Good morning, rip-off insurance. You claim it, will deny it. Not gonna-
I was just diagnosed with cancer, and I'd like to know if the insurance covers some of the tests I have to take.
I'd be happy to help you. What kind of testing do you need?
Okay, I'm going to start chemotherapy, and I'll need a heart scan, a lung function test, and a PET CT scan.
You know, we'll cover most of the testing in your system. Did you mention chemotherapy? Because we don't cover chemotherapy.
Wait, what you're saying is the insurance that my husband and I work very hard to pay for will not cover chemotherapy for my very treatable cancer?
Yes, sir, bingo. Number one answer.
Thanks a lot for nothing, jackass!
Look.
So at this point, despair begins to set in. At this point, I still don't know what stage the cancer is at. I need the $4,000 PET CT scan to tell me that. And a bone marrow biopsy. Yet another test to fully diagnose where the cancer is in my body. I need the heart and lung function test so that during and after chemo, they'll be able to tell if the chemo has damaged my heart and lungs. And now, we have no idea how we're going to pay for it. The emotions you're dealing with are so strong. You just want to yell at the people denying you and say, cancer. I have a family at home that I want to live for. In case you haven't heard, cancer doesn't wait for you to approve me. Cancer spreads. Sign me up for the tests. Now, God, or whatever you believe in or don't believe in for that matter, definitely has a sense of humor. How do I know? Random hair.
Now, you ladies know what she's talking about. You don't have to admit to me that you get them, but you know what she's talking about. It'll be our little secret. Men get them too, but for them it's just another hair that they're proud to have. But for women, the random hair can be slightly traumatic.
You know the one where you look in the mirror, when the light hits it just right, and all of a sudden, you see a hair that has to be at least half an inch long sticking out of your neck. Or his mother knows the only place that people can see.
Look closer in the mirror to inspect the offending hair. See? So, holy crap! Where did that thing come from? It's huge!
Oh, God! And you think, holy crap, how did these things that freaking random hair would still rear its ugly little head. Maybe a cruel joke, but nonetheless. I was like, really, God? Seriously? All I have left to say is, I love my tweezers.
First question I have is doing all three parts, basically being a writer, director, and acting. What challenge did you find doing this all together, and what part, if any, did you like the most?
Well, we have two small children. Our children are 10 and how old are they? 7. So as a multitasker, I thought there wasn't much direction, and I've never directed before, but our friend Mel, who was in the play with us, she had helped our acting teacher years ago, so she said, I'd be happy to help you. And I figured, okay, that'll be easier with rehearsal and everything, and but I love to write. I've never written a play before, but I'm always writing something. Like, I feel like I can't not write. And the acting, Dan and I haven't acted in over 10 years, so I thought it would give us an opportunity to get our feet wet again and see if we wanted to get back into it. So the writing I love, but I do love performing also. Yeah.
Now, from an acting standpoint, obviously taking your personal story, it's very important, obviously, from acting, of course, in the way that you came across was fantastic. Just wondering, from other parts that you have done in the past, what was the different approach? And obviously, when it's this personal, did you find that you had to create a character to do the part, or did you feel like it was just enough to be personal about yourself and convey it from an acting standpoint?
I just felt like I should just be myself. And yeah, just be as genuine as possible. When I was going through treatment, I read some books from other survivors that made me laugh out loud, and I said, if this can do that for someone,